You're listening to episode 5 of the Forbidden Brazilian Portuguese podcast. Olá pessoal, welcome to another episode of Forbidden Brazilian Portuguese. Today we're going to talk about pee and poo, what to say when you need the toilet, what's acceptable to say in public and what isn't, some funny expressions, and a little bit about burping and farting as well, because why not? We all love a bit of farting. In episode 4, when we talked about swearing when suffering sudden pain, we saw two expressions using the Portuguese words for shit. Ai merda and the milder ai bosta. Merda means shit and bosta means cow dropping or cow dung, but it's used as a swear word. It's closer in meaning to the English crap, so not as strong as merda. These two words, as well as most of the ones that we saw in that episode, can also be used in different contexts. For example, to express frustration about something, not just sudden pain. For example, if someone gives you a piece of bad news, so instead of starting your sentence with I, which is the equivalent of ouch, you can then start the sentence with que merda, or que bosta. The word que here means something like what or how, as in, what a piece of shit news, or how shitty. Que merda. Que bosta. When we refer to the shit itself, there's a very common word used by everyone, children and adults, and it's not that really offensive. It's the equivalent of poo in English, so quite mild. The word is cocô. Pronunciation here is really important. Both syllables have the same sound, co. However, the stress is at the end, cocô. Cocô. This word is quite similar to the Portuguese word for coconut, coco. Now here the emphasis is in the first syllable, coco, and the O at the end has an U sound, cu. So the full word for coconut again, coco. The word for poo, cocô. So repeat, coco, coconut, and cocô, poo. In Brazil, it's very common to find street vendors of coconut water, água de coco. So if you mispronounce coco and say cocô instead, you will be asking for poo water. The main verb that we use with cocô is the verb fazer, to make, to do. Fazer cocô. So to say I need to have a poo, you can say preciso fazer cocô. Or I'm going to have a poo, vou fazer cocô. So this is something that it's fine to say amongst friends and even in front of children. And although it's quite a mild word, it's probably not something you would choose to say in public. And of course, there's no need to specify what you need the toilet for. So if you need the toilet, you can just ask, onde é o banheiro, por favor? Or you can use the verb ficar, onde fica o banheiro, por favor? To say I need to go to the toilet, preciso ir ao banheiro. Instead of ao banheiro, you might hear Brazilians saying no banheiro. Preciso ir no banheiro. Although this wouldn't be grammatically accurate. I actually did a YouTube video on prepositions used with verbs of movement, so if you'd like to know more about this, check out that video on my YouTube channel. So the most common way of saying to have a poo is fazer cocô. But we also have the stronger cagar. This verb, though, is considered quite vulgar, but you could say, for example, to amuse your friends or show off your Portuguese, preciso cagar, which will be the equivalent of saying, I need to shit, I need to have a dump. And just like in English, you could say number 2, número 2. Preciso fazer o número 2. I need to do the number 2. Diarrhea in Portuguese is diarreia, or the more vulgar, caganeira. To say I have diarrhea, you could use the verb estar, followed by the preposition com, estar com. Estou com diarreia. Shortening the verb estar to just tô com diarreia. Literally, I'm with diarrhea. Using the more vulgar caganeira, tô com caganeira. Something like, I've got the shits. By the way, don't worry too much about practicing your pronunciation at this stage. It's more important that you just listen to the explanations. At the end, I will go through some of these expressions again, and you have time to practice your pronunciation. Now let's talk about número 1, number 1, to have a wee, fazer xixi. So xixi is the most common word for wee or pee, and we use the verb fazer again, fazer xixi. So I need to have a wee, preciso fazer xixi. I'm going to have a wee, vou fazer xixi. Just like fazer cocô, fazer xixi is quite mild. It's okay to say it even in front of children. There's another thing that you can say though, which is mijar. A little bit stronger, something like to piss. So I need to piss, preciso mijar. I'm going to piss, vou mijar. The noun piss is mijo. There is in Portuguese a version of the English I laughed so hard I wet myself, which would be me mijei de rir. Literally, I pissed myself laughing. So we've talked about cocô, we've talked about xixi. Let's talk about peido, the word for fart. Peido. Que peido fedorento. What a smelly fart. The verb is peidar, to fart. Quem peidou? Who farted? Para de peidar. Stop farting. Instead of the verb peidar, you can say soltar peido, to release a fart. Another word for fart is pum, but this is more like what children would say. Again, you can use the verb soltar, soltar pum. Soltei pum poderoso. I released a powerful fart. If you don't want to use the verb peidar or soltar pum, if you want to sound a little bit more classy, you could say the equivalent of I'm gassy, tô com gases. And talking about gassy, I thought I'd also mention here the word for burp, arroto, the verb arrotar. Para de arrotar. Stop burping. So now is your chance to practice the pronunciation of some of these phrases. You can repeat after me. Preciso fazer cocô. Vou fazer cocô. Onde é o banheiro, por favor? Onde fica o banheiro, por favor? Preciso ir ao banheiro. Preciso cagar. Preciso fazer o número 2. Tô com diarreia. Tô com caganeira. Preciso fazer xixi. Vou fazer xixi. Preciso mijar. Vou mijar. Preciso fazer o número 1. Me mijei de rir. Quem peidou? Para de peidar. Que peido fedorento. Soltei pum poderoso. Tô com gases. Para de arrotar. And we've come to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Members of the FWBP Academy can download the episode notes. If you'd like to start learning Brazilian Portuguese or would like to improve what you already know, I invite you to check out the FWBP Academy with its 6 online courses, private members Facebook group, live tutorials, and new lessons released every week. And direct access to me whenever you have a question or need personalized feedback on your pronunciation. So check out the FWBP Academy on funwithbrazilianportuguese.com/membership. And if you're enjoying this podcast series, I would be really grateful if you could spend 5 minutes leaving a short review on iTunes. That would be really helpful. And if you have any questions, probably the easiest way is to use the comment section on the podcast page on my website, funwithbrazilianportuguese.com/podcast. Muito obrigado, até a próxima, tchau!